to another entertainment segment of Impact. I'm your host, John Russell Cring, local filmmaker. And praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. This is the gospel segment. Holy hallelujah. Oh, whoo, she gave it a Honda. Hi, Sara.
Hi, John. And you didn't even have any music to do.
No, I know.
Okay,
Singing the dollars. All right.
Okay.
Now, see, this comes from my background. My father was a minister, and I traveled around the country and did the church thing and the whole bit. So you don't know this is exciting.
It is exciting.
This is the Gospel Jubilee.
It is the Gospel Jubilee. And
There
I'm
is
excited.
no more fun than a gospel concert.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
I mean, look, even in rock and roll, when they want to really, really take it up, they go gospel.
That's right. That's
They
so
really
true.
do.
And you know, Bob Dylan has one of the best gospel albums called "Gotta Serve Somebody."
Oh, Gotta Serve
And
Somebody's a
on
great
that
record.
Compilation. You have Mavis Staples.
Right.
You have Helen Baylor. You have the Chicago Mass Choir. A whole slew of people celebrating his music, gospel.
Well, let's talk about Prince. I mean, come on, you talk about like Purple Rain.
Yes.
I mean, come on, he's like, raise your hands up. I mean, that's, totally his gospel roots.
It's you know what, gospel is a genre of music that touches everybody. It does not matter what background you're from, what you serve, who you serve.
Right.
It is in your soul. If you want it in your soul and you can celebrate, gospel music is there for you.
I believe that.
I grew up with it.
Okay, absolutely. Well, you bring up like Mavis Staples. I mean, staple singers.
Yes.
I mean, just amazing music. How do you feel about when somebody comes out of gospel music and they go to secular music, but they still keep the gospel roots? Do you feel like it's fair or not? You talk about this Whitney Houston, all that.
Listen, when you speak about people like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and a whole lineup of other people, their roots are gospel.
Right.
Whitney Houston was one of the voices of gospel music, although she was known for her secular music. She was known for her voice, but she was deeply rooted, her spirit, in gospel music.
Right, exactly.
Aretha Franklin started in church. A lot of artists have started in the church, have been inspired by gospel music. And I feel like, if it's something that we have to embrace, whether they go secular or not. A lot of gospel artists are moving to secular music in their own way. A lot of, so it's either way, but it's in their roots.
And do you feel like there's a difference, honestly, between what is known as gospel music and what is just generally known as Christian music? Do you feel gospel music, basically it has to be, from the African American church to really be considered gospel, or do you consider Southern gospel music, or is it all different, or is it all the same?
I feel like it is. There's definitely a different feeling in the black church. I grew up in
there
a black
is.
church, and although I also used to be a DJ on WABY here in Albany in the '80s, which was a Christian inspirational format.
Right.
Christian inspirational music and gospel music do go hand in hand. It's just that the feeling and the spirit in the black church for gospel music, have to say, is totally different.
Oh, it is.
I grew up in a very Pentecostal environment.
Oh, were they
as a
dancing?
child. Very much so. And
Were you dancing?
And I was. You know what? Since the age of that I could dance, I was dancing. So I find that all gospel music inspires. All Christian inspirational music is what it is there for. Bob Dylan, Donna Summer, you name them, they have all crossed that bridge of gospel music and Christian inspirational music. So the answer to your question is, I'm also Catholic. You don't know that, but I also was raised Catholic. I prefer the gospel music on the Pentecostal side, Baptist side, because that's what I can connect with.
Oh, well, you get that organ going, that low end happening, man, and
like
then the drums
that
and
B3 is no joke.
Oh my gosh, yes.
No joke. Who are some of your favorite gospel artists?
Well, my father toured with Andre Crouch.
Oh, one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
way back in the day, and I mean literally, my dad tells a story that Andre Crouch in like 1972, 73, he comes into a church, he brings in the drums, the pastor goes, "We don't want any of that in this church," throws him out the door. The next year he comes back to the same church, they've got their own drum set, and my dad goes, "I guess God changed his mind."
Yes. Well, I'm a big fan of Andre Crouch. I actually had an opportunity to interview him back in the 80s. And when you think about it, you think about also artists like Al Green.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Great,
Now
yeah.
he's got that whole R&B Memphis sound that made
Right.
him money and made him Grammys and
Right.
recognized.
The
him.
Reverend
But
Al
he
Green.
is now a Reverend
Yes,
Al Green
yes.
and has a church in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right, absolutely.
And you know, again, it is deeply rooted. Gospel music is deeply rooted in the spirit of so many iconic singers and songwriters. So we're going to be honoring a lot of that come April 19th, but we're also going to have one of our legendary Broadway, Tony Award-winning, Grammy nominee singer-actress Melba Moore.
Yeah,
Now
that
you
is
can't go
amazing.
any deeper when you talk about music and just the
Tony Award
celebration
winner.
of life and music. Tony Award winner Melba Moore will be in our Gospel Jubilee.
How
concert.
does that happen? How does she get involved?
She wasn't, well, I had an opportunity when I lived in New York City and I worked at the Public Theater / Joe's Pub at the Public Theater to work with Melba Moore. I'm a big fan. I mean, her classic 70s and her appearance in Pearly and all of her work that she's done in secular music and on the R&B charts definitely inspired me. I mean, her voice alone, no matter what she sings, it could be country, I don't care what Melba sings, she is like one of the top on my radar.
Right.
So my connection to her in New York led to this, and it was just an opportunity again to work with her and to make a phone call and just let her know what I was working on. She was just someone that I really wanted to see here on our main stage. Told her about the project. She was just more than willing to be a part of it, and the rest is going to be history. I mean, she
That's
is going to
awesome.
be here doing her gospel music. She has a wonderful couple gospel projects out right now. And she will be joined by the Jubilee Mass Choir, that is a Capital Regions choir,
Okay.
which is under the direction of Reverend
Live band,
Belgian.
right?
She'll have a live band.
Oh, yes.
She'll be doing some of her music, and she will have a choir, and she may do a couple of things that, you know, we don't want to give it away, but she's Melba Moore, so how she graces that stage is just, it gives you chills thinking about it.
Going through the process of picking out the material, you're dealing with such a deep history of gospel music, going all the way back to modern day. Was that a difficult process to weed it all out and figure out what you wanted to do?
You know, my vision for this was really inspired not only because of my love, as I said, for gospel music and growing up in the black church, but it also is because Philip Morris and I connected when we had Crowns the Musical here at Capitol Repertory Theater a few years ago. And it's based on gospel music, the church, celebrating crowns, the hats, and the whole thing with the ladies, you know, and it was just so moving that people left that theater at Capitol Rep just in awe.
Right.
And I remember looking at Philip, and he looked at me, and, you know, we just came up to a thing, and we said, we need to do something about gospel music. We need to do a show here. We had our first one in the GE Theater last year, and we sold it to capacity. So we turned people away, and the next thing was that we move it to the main stage. So the celebration of it is really about gospel, the genre of music, but it's also about community, art, and praise. And I just want to mention that we are also going to honor two special beloved people in our community, and one of them is the late Annette de Lavalon, who was the founder and editor of Classic newspaper in Albany. A delightful lady who I had the privilege to meet, and she was a member of Macedonia Baptist Church here in Albany. And we're also honoring the Reverend Albert J. Holman, who is retired, a former pastor of Mount Olivet Missionary Baptist Church in Schenectady.
I think that's really good. And you're talking about the praise factor of it. It's even separate from whatever you believe religiously or whatever. It's just something wonderful to just sing out and just party, because that's really what a gospel concert is. It's all about this emotional connection.
That's right.
You know, that you're making. You know,
That's right.
you talk about, you listen to Melba Moore, and it's just, you know, the connection that she makes with the music.
Yes.
You know, is so absolutely wonderful.
Yep, and in the art form of it all, we want to do it where we mix it up a bit, and we're having praise dancers. So we're going to have the Emmanuel Baptist Church praise dancers from the Bronx.
Okay.
They're part of it. We also have a gentleman by the name of Kenny Hamber, who is from Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. And he is a recording artist and a voice like Rance Allen, Dennis Edwards of the Temptations. He's going to be giving you that big sound with a live band celebrating music from his album, I'm Truly Blessed. So we have a nice mix, and the Jubilee Mass Choir is just majestic. I mean, when you listen to this choir, which is going to be comprised of about 125 voices, including the Union College Heavenly Voices Gospel Choir. So it's just really, like you said, it's programmed so that it is entertaining,
Right.
uplifting, not preachy,
Right.
but giving you a flavor of like you said, big voices, big sound
No, that's
on the main stage.
right. And you, this must be really, close to your heart. You talked about Melba Moore had been on your radar for a long time. You have basically an organization that celebrates, the female songwriter, Sister
Factory.
Sister Factory.
Yes, SISTA.
Talk to me about that.
That was created, a long story short, when I used to work in New York City, I worked in a corporation and wasn't really feeling my job at the time, but I was feeling like there was something calling me, and I loved music so much. I had friends that were singers, songwriters. And one day I was just sitting and writing and doodling a little bit, and I wrote SISTA.
Right.
And I said, soulful, inspirational sounds to admire. Sister. Oh my gosh, I work with these sisters. And
if you put a gun to my head, I never would have come up with that acronym.
And
but that's
was
fantastic.
Just what happened. It was like something was feeding me and saying to me, you know what, you were in a position to create a platform to showcase talent. I'm talking about off the radar type of emerging artist talent. And that's exactly what happened. And I started in New York City with it in 1999. And moved back to Capital Region in 2006. It's still a part of that
Is it
whole
promotion?
radar.
Is it
promotion.
recording? What is it?
It's more of a showcase platform.
Showcases,
so
okay.
it's really to give, we worked with a lot of venues, my team and I, in New York, just building and booking and just promoting these independent singer-songwriters. Well, it led to a lot of other things because then you had these iconic singer-songwriters like a Melba Moore,
Right.
Jean Carn, Nona Hendrix from Patti LaBelle and LaBelle.
Right.
They became a part of it.
Cool.
Nona Hendrix and I worked together a couple times, and it's just to have that opportunity to say, for them to say, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
That's because no one else is pushing the envelope. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? No one else is pushing gospel or pushing independent
Right.
singer-songwriters, no matter what kind of platform they're on.
You
We
know,
need that.
it's the old Field of Dreams thing. If you build it, they will come.
Yes,
You know,
I love that.
it's
Yes,
just the
indeed.
idea that if you give a platform for people that they don't have an opportunity, it's just like you create this for them, then they come and they decorate it.
That's right.
You know, they make it happen. So that sounds absolutely. So let's say people wanted to find out more about Sister Factory. How would they do that?
There's a website, and it's sisterfactory.com.
Okay.
So it's SISTA factory.com. Still building the website a lot, but we're putting more and more on it. And now that I'm back in the Capital Region, because I was gone for a while, I relocated back here in 2006. Now Gospel Jubilee will become a part of that Sister Factory platform.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot that we're doing here at Proctors to help build more emerging artists and to showcase talent. So much talent in the Capital Region. There's so many great voices, as you know.
Fabulous. That's fabulous. And what are the dates? How can people get tickets to Gospel
April
Jubilee?
19th, Friday, April 19th, here on the main stage. Tickets are available. Call our box office. Come down in person. Get your tickets, because I'll tell you, it's going to fill up quickly. And
Right.
And tickets are only $20, if I can say that. It's not a break in the bank type of situation. It's really something that's affordable. We want people to come out and just have a good time on a Friday night and celebrate everything gospel.
Oh, if you've never been to a gospel show, it is more fun, it is more rocking than any sort of rock show or club or anything. I mean, it's just crazy. It is crazy fun. So
great energy.
it's so great that you're doing this.
Thank you.
And sometimes certain kinds of music, they get a little bit slighted, they get a little bit forgotten, they get relegated off. And I think that this show is going to introduce a lot of people to some great artists.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
I really do. I believe that too. And I think it's relevant to today, and it's relevant, and it always will be relevant to great programming at Proctors Theater. And we're just very delighted to have, this caliber of talent joining us for one night. I mean, you just can't go wrong. You're going to sit there and you're going to be entertained. You're going to be inspired. You're going to lift your hands if you want to lift your hands. You're going to dance if you want to dance. There's no predicting. You just enjoy. It's a wonderful celebration of life and music.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on the show, Sarah. This has been awesome.
I'm
Take me
enjoying
back
it.
to my roots. Oh yes, I'm a dancing. I'm a dancing in the
Okay,
spirit.
you will be
All right.
Friday night.
All right. Thanks so much for watching
Thank
this
you.
episode of Impact. Make sure you check out the Gospel Jubilee and
Come to Proctors.
come to Proctors.
Friday
I'll see you
night.
later. Oh, I'll see you. I'll see you later.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.